106 years. That is a long time, isn't it? A magnificent grace that the good Lord has bestowed upon me. When one lives to this age, time is no longer measured in hours or minutes, but by seasons, by the shifting of river courses, and by the deepening lines on the faces of those we love. My name is Silas, and I sit here today not to preach to anyone, but simply to share what I have distilled from this long, long journey. I have seen the world change so much. There have been changes for the better, certainly, but there are also precious things that have been swept away in the rushing current of modern life, especially the way we treat our own bodies, the only sacred temple we possess in this lifetime. I see you young folks worrying so much these days. You are surrounded by thousands of pieces of advice, hundreds of diets, and countless fears about disease. Doctors, those learned and respectable people, they do their job. But sometimes, in the complexity of science, we forget the simplest truths. Truths that my grandmother, and those before her, whispered into my ear when I was just a child running barefoot on the grass. Health, in the eyes of an old man soon to return to the earth, does not come from expensive pills in fancy packaging. It comes from harmony, the harmony between man and Mother Nature. I have been fortunate to keep this clarity of mind and this strength thanks to 7 companions, 7 gifts from heaven and earth that I cherish every day. Let me tell you about them, slowly, about each one. First, I want to reveal to you coffee. This is the one people argue about the most. Every morning, when the mist hasn't yet cleared from the distant hills, the first thing I do is brew myself a cup of hot black coffee. Many people are still wary, saying coffee isn't good, that it makes the heart race and the mind jittery. But for me, coffee is a sacred ritual. Just imagine, the coffee bean has absorbed the wind and sun of the tropics, gone through the fire of roasting to awaken that deep, intense aroma. When I take a sip of black coffee, no sugar, no cream, I feel a gentle bitterness spreading over the tip of my tongue. That bitterness is not unpleasant. It is a reminder of life. It awakens the sleeping senses, softly telling every cell in my body, a new day has arrived. Wake up and embrace it. Science calls the substances within it antioxidants, a miracle drug that protects cells. As for me, I call it aromatic oil for memories. A good cup of coffee helps me recall old days, keeping my mind as clear as an autumn lake. Don't ruin it with artificial sweeteners. Learn to love its original taste, just as we love the deep bass notes of life. The second gift that I always reserve a special favor for is berries. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, or any small fruit with vibrant colors. Long ago, as a boy, I used to sneak into the briar patches behind the house, my hands scratched by thorns, just to pick a handful of ripe wild berries. That pure sweetness. It is far different from the harsh, sugary taste of candy bars today. You know, the color of fruit is nature's language. the deep purple of blueberries, the bright red of raspberries. That is the armor that plants weave for themselves to protect against the harsh sun and pests. People call them polyphenols. When we eat these berries, we are borrowing that armor to shield ourselves. They soothe the simmering inflammation in the body, the invisible fire that burns away our health every day. Eating a handful of berries, I feel like I am tasting crystallized drops of sunlight, gentle and healing. That is how I keep my blood clean and fresh. The third friend comes from the vast ocean. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel. I grew up by the streams, and I learned that water must flow to be clean. Our brains are the same. It needs smoothness and flexibility to operate. And the fat from fish, what people often call omega-3, is that cool, clear stream nourishing the mind. Many people fear eating fat. They think fat makes them heavy. But our brains are largely made of fat. It needs the best materials to build memories and thoughts. I eat sardines and salmon with deep gratitude. That golden oil in the fish meat helps me, at 106, still remember the name of my youngest great-grandchild clearly. Still remember the scent of the cornfield when I was 20. It keeps my mood stable, not covered by the gloomy clouds of old age. Don't worry too much about the things people use to scare you. Choose small fish, wild-caught fish, and let them nourish your wisdom. Fourth, and the one that has suffered the most injustice, the egg. For a long time, people looked at the egg yolk as an enemy. They told me to throw it away, to eat only the white. But I look at an egg and see a miracle. It is the origin of life. How could the most essential part, that brilliant yellow like the sun, be poison? The yolk contains choline, a precious nutrient for the brain, and lutein, a guardian for the eyes. I eat eggs every day, both yolk and white, usually lightly fried with a bit of butter or natural fat. It is a perfect nutritional package that the Creator has carefully wrapped. At this age, my eyes still see the stars at night clearly, and I believe it is thanks to those tiny suns I eat every morning. Do not reject what nature offers whole. Eat it with appreciation. The fifth item might surprise many in this era: red meat. But please understand this old man correctly. I am not talking about meat from animals locked in cramped cages, fed entirely on genetically modified grains. I am talking about the meat of cows and sheep that roamed freely, grazing under the sun, breathing the open air. The human body, whether we like it or not, still needs the solidity of the earth. Red meat provides iron, B12, and essential nutrients to build muscle, to keep hot blood flowing in the veins. When we feel weak, tired, sometimes it is because we have strayed too far from this root energy source. The cow eats grass, transforming the energy of plants and sunlight into its flesh. When we eat it in moderation and with gratitude, we receive that strength. It helps my legs remain sturdy enough for afternoon walks, helps my hands stay strong enough to replant the flower bed in front of the door. Sixth are rustic, simple foods, but full of power. Fermented foods. Sauerkraut, kimchi, miso soup, or yogurt. Our bodies are not just flesh and blood. Inside us is a whole world of microorganisms, like a garden. If we neglect it, weeds, which are diseases, will overgrow. But if we tend to it, planting seeds of goodness, the garden will flourish. Fermented foods bring beneficial bacteria, helping to rebalance the digestive system. The ancients didn't know about bacteria, but they knew that eating pickled vegetables made the stomach settled, digestion easy, and illnesses rare. A healthy gut is the foundation of a cheerful spirit. When the stomach is at peace, the heart is much lighter. And finally, a little secret of mine: raw cacao. Not sweet chocolate, mind you. I am talking about pure cacao powder. It is bitter, a deep and elegant bitterness. Every morning I add a small spoonful to my coffee. Cacao contains PQQ and compounds that stimulate the body to produce new power plants within the cells. It's like changing the spark plugs in an old car. It helps me maintain clarity, curiosity, and a love for life. A little bit of that bitterness is actually the catalyst for the sweetness of vitality. But my friends, no matter how precious those 7 foods are, they are just fuel. A car, even if filled with the best gasoline, will go nowhere if the driver is drunk or lost. The most important factor, the thing that has kept me in this life until my 106th year, is not on the dinner plate. It lies in your heart and in your head. It is the spirit. Life can be heavy sometimes. Sadness, anger, hatred, they are like invisible poisons. You can eat the cleanest food in the world, but if you carry hatred in your heart, it will corrode you from the inside faster than any bacteria. My secret to longevity? It is forgiveness. Forgive not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Learn to let go of the burdens in your heart before going to sleep. It is laughter. Laugh more. Laugh at silly things. Laugh even when life throws challenges at you. Laughter is the best painkiller, the best exercise for the heart. And it is gratitude. Every morning when you wake up, instead of rushing into worries, take a minute to give thanks that you are still breathing, still seeing the light. Love those around you. Find a purpose in living, however small, like tending to a potted plant or baking a delicious cake for your grandchildren. The body is nourished by food from the earth, while the soul is nourished by love and faith. Combine these two, and you will see how beautiful this life is. Well, the sun has started to fade on the porch. Thank you for patiently listening to this old man ramble. Go home, eat a delicious meal with your family, and remember, live simply, eat what nature provides, and keep your heart light. Be at peace, young friends.